Hi everyone, thank you very much for stopping by and returning to the old world. Today we're looking at the preview from Nova and what this means for Warhammer, the old world. So the information that's came out this morning, there's a bit of a mixture, I think, of positivity and less positive. We've got a model to look at. We've got some comments around, or rather a comment around the old world project continuing to gather momentum, but on the flip side to that, we've got a single model once again to look at, with no real information about the wider game itself. So let's start with the model, shall we? Games Workshop have shown us a Bretonnian prophetess of the Lady of the Lake that goes by the name, and you'll have to excuse my pronunciation here, Lady Elise Duchard. Now, given the name rather than just Bretonnian hero or Bretonnian prophetess, etc., this strikes me that we're looking at a special character model. However, I'm hopeful that the dimensions of it will be allowing it to be used as a normal prophetess should that appear in the book, so you're not limited to using it as a special character. When I first saw the picture of this particular model, I have to admit, I think it looks absolutely amazing. The proportions are looking good. That's far better from that perspective than the Bretonnian battle standard bearer we saw at the Warhammer Fest preview. That's the model with the tiny legs. Of this one, the proportions seem good. It's just a beautiful looking model. Now, it may well be that what we're looking at here is some good photo angles, some good painting, and doubtlessly it's very well painted. Maybe even photoshopped, who knows? But even taking into all those potential things into account, this model looks absolutely stunning, particularly when you look at it against the predecessor models which existed. Themselves, they were pretty good models back in the day, and they are shown to us as part of the preview article, really to show the lineage of this particular model. But yeah, I'm pretty much blown away by how beautiful this model looks. I had been given some thought as an aside to where I want to go next with my Warhammer Old World projects, having completed the dwarves, and I was starting to think about some kind of Chaos Bretonnian type combo. I'm holding fire at the moment because we don't know an awful lot about what's coming, but this is really leading me down the line of actually, perhaps I do want to get into Bretonnians a little bit deeper. Touching on the less positives around the Nova preview for this model, there is an opening line which says, "The Old World project continues to gather momentum with recent in-depth developer diaries covering the main factions at play and new rules concepts." And I do take a little bit exception to this, as certainly the opening line, because certainly for me it doesn't feel like a project that's gathering momentum. We see a little bit of momentum gathering. We see useful information coming out. The new rules concepts I thought was a really good developer diary and started to show a real direction of travel. Then we get a comment around more information is going to be coming out in August, and we see a single model drop. Now, considering the disquiet amongst the community around release dates, etc., even ignoring all the to-do and faffle about base sizes, it doesn't feel like this is a project that's coming to life anywhere soon. And the more we have this uncertainty around when we can actually expect something, with vague comments around gathering momentum when there's not an awful lot of momentum I can see now, it means people are starting to get pretty angry. I've done a video as well, briefly talking about some of the toxic behaviours we're seeing. But I'm increasingly seeing comments now amongst people saying, I'm just had enough now of the lack of information. If they just gave us something, is it going to be in 6 months? Is it going to be 12 months? Are we looking a year plus hence? Give us that some information like that. I'd be happier to wait. But as for now, losing interest. They're the sort of comments that I'm seeing. I think it is worth noting, however, that whilst the single Bretonnian model, a resin model, by the way, is the only thing we've seen specifically for Warhammer Old World, there have been some Age of Sigmar releases as well, which provide models which might have some kind of capacity to cross over into the Old World. I'm particularly thinking about the new Iron Jaws models that are being released, and there's quite a few of those. Now these have a clear line of descendants going back to the Black Orcs of 8th edition, I think 7th edition maybe as well. The bulkier, heavily armoured figures that were floating around there. Now, I have to admit, the monopose Black Orcs and that sort of style, I thought they looked better than the later plastic versions that you could kit bash, etc. But they do seem to have gone on to that from that later aesthetic to build out the Iron Jaws. But it looks like there's going to be some options here which could be used as characters, could be used to fill out units, etc. So if you like those sort of models and that style of models, then I think there's definitely some marching strength in, that's not even a phrase, is it? There's definitely some use to be seen, I think, from these models in the Old World if you want to put them on the appropriate basis once you know what those sizes are. So overall, what do I think? I think the model we've seen for the Bretonnian line, it's amazing as a model, absolutely breathtaking. Couldn't be happier with that. But do you know what? After all of these years, I would kind of just like to see a little bit more and not see these suggestions that we're going to get something quite material and then we see a model. It's a bit like the days when they were promising something material, or made us think we were going to get something material, and we'd get a map with an extra couple of icons on it. I just really want to know what the roadmap looks like, and I think this is something that the community at large would be quite interested in, just to know the direction of travel. And if we've got to wait till 2025, as some people are suggesting, do you know what? Just tell us it's going to be 2025, and I think people would be happier to wait with that sort of knowledge and then get excited about it in due course. That's it from me on this topic. Your usual Friday video will be returning tomorrow. If you've liked this and perhaps my other comments on various subjects, and do go check out the back catalogue if you've not already, do consider dropping a subscription and a like. They are the best ways of supporting the channel and for keeping up to date with what's going on. All that remains to say is thank you very much for listening. I am returned to the Old World. Have a great day.